Are we even giving an episode number to this?
There is an episode number, so of course it's 258.
Oh, Josh, 258, everybody. Surprise, here we are. We told you it happened here and there in the quote off season.
When we had big news.
That's
what we said.
News.
There's been other news too, right? I mean, disc golf always has news, but I feel like it's been quiet. And I guess we'll debate how big this story is, but enough to bring us to a live show.
Yep.
Feels good to be back. Although, Matt, I was like, what button do I click to join? Like, this show, like, it's been a while.
Yeah, I'm clicking buttons right now, double checking things.
Has been a while.
We talked to Brixton, right? And now we're gonna talk about Powerball.
Powerball.
I don't know if I ever thought we'd talk about that on this show.
I'm so curious how this partnership even started. It's like, it seems like the most random partnership, like meaning like if you were to guess what the big brand is, like your head would go to like Nike or New Balance or
you guys, those
we're
are
not
huge.
No,
are we
live?
Huge. We're live.
Oh,
I'm just cutting you off. Listen to this.
I heard you guys. I thought we were.
It was great. And apparently, I've never been on live television before, but apparently sometimes I don't watch the news because I'm a kid, and apparently Grandpa just gives me a remote after we watch the Powerball.
After we watch the Powerball. Like, that's what came to my mind.
Where are you going with it? I was so confused.
That's what came to my mind when I heard this. I was like, I literally looked at my kids and I'm like, Powerball.
That's awesome.
We're watching, after disc golf, we're watching Powerball.
Well, that's what's going to start happening, right? Like, are they going to draw the Powerball on disc golf towards the end of a broadcast, announce the Powerball?
There's no way.
Or something?
Maybe though.
So we're gonna get into those details, but for everybody that's just tuning in, they're like, "Hey, is this Matt, Josh, and Ben talking for the next hour per usual?" Kind of, but we actually have the CEO of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, Jeff Spring, will be joining us in about 10 minutes. We also have Sean Jack, the Vice President of Partnerships, joining the show as well. We've had them both on. They're going to be definitely talking to us about the things that are important for this big announcement of Powerball actually presenting the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Now, they don't say Powerball presents it, but they're saying Disc Golf Pro Tour is presented by. And Ben, you have a Expo and it's presented by and all that. There is a difference. Mm-hmm. There would be a difference to give them the front line. Powerball presents the Disc Golf Pro Tour. There's ways to get around all that, and you have a few ways to do it. You do
calling it the Powerball Tour,
right? Yeah. Well, there is the Powerball Cup.
Yes, and that's just the DGPT Championship.
Yeah, but it's not that any longer. It's now the Powerball Cup. But yes, that's what it is.
So my understanding is Powerball right now. You mentioned that, but also, is it NASCAR? I think they're in NASCAR.
They're a sponsor for NASCAR.
So
they're talking with the NFL, and right, so they play whatever analogy or metaphor you want to use, right? But they swim in the big waters, right? So NASCAR and NFL and other things they've done in the past are pretty big. So working with the Pro Tour does not mean we're NASCAR or NFL, but it means we have enough interesting opportunity from a commercial viability standpoint for a company like that to not waste their time. That's always the issue, right? It's like those companies could toss us $1 million, like these big companies, no problem for their budget, but they're like, it's not worth our time.
The team effort,
right? But for somebody to say, all right, yeah, let's try it, and we don't know what it's actually costing them, but regardless, right? It's a big sponsor that's not within the sport, which is really. That's when you start to prove your commercial viability as a sport. When someone says, oh, we can advertise through you and have nothing to do with disc golf and it's worth it. So at the end of the day, we're going to ask lots of questions and maybe we even have some differing opinions, but nobody in business at that level is signing a deal unless they answer yes to that question. So that's cool.
Either I feel like we should start throwing balls or maybe the Powerball logo is actually a red disc.
It was funny. That was one of the first things that crossed my mind that wasn't important. But I'm like, yeah, is it like Powerball? Is there a power disc?
Power grip disc ball?
Power grip.
But no, maybe the red part of the Powerball logo, maybe that's a disc. We'll just envision it that way. And
You could do that. Calvin Heiberg has like a pool ball, I think, where it's red and it just has number 3. So you could do that. The Powerball, that'd be very sick.
So we don't send you to other podcasts on purpose, but there are going to be a bunch of other podcasts that are recording on this topic. I know that I had mentioned this to you, Josh, right before we went live. Disc Golf Pro Tour, it took a few years at least, and they realized that podcasts were always trying to find angles and twists and ways to report on things that were getting announced. And eventually the Disc Golf Pro Tour is like, we're going to try to control. Now, they wouldn't market it this way, but they're going to try to control the narrative and get a head start on getting the information out there. So in large part, they've reached out to almost every podcast saying, hey, we'd like to come on and talk about it.
We like to think we're the special ones, but
Yeah, we in our world we got the exclusive.
Hey, I don't know how many other podcasts.
There's a lot of podcasts.
No, but are live? Are they all running? Producing live? So
I don't know.
Go.
We're still going. Smashbox live, I think.
Yeah, but they haven't happened yet. What I mean is we're the first one live talking about.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So again, surprise everybody. We're glad to join you in your cars, in your office spaces, wherever you are listening to us. Fun fact right now, like, look, our show's not presented by anybody. Maybe it's Powerball we're waiting to announce. Maybe we can land our own huge sponsorship. And there have been news stories, Josh. I think you mentioned that. But you know what's been really fun is just observing this without the angle of how am I going to bring a take on it. So in past 6 seasons, I'd look at it, I'd analyze it, I'd think how I'm going to bring a take on it. What does this mean? I'm enjoying just watching it. Stress-free, almost who cares mentality to what happens. Because I think, especially this year, it seems like a lot of people are trying to come up with takes for like player signings or not. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm just sitting back going, makes sense to me. I think it makes sense to me with where disc golf's at and what player value is. It's going to balance out. And I think that's what's happening. It's not bad for the sport. I think it's actually good for it. It gives the other players more opportunities. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But
overall, it's been. We're not ignoring any of the names. Obviously, it's what we do on this show. But like, it's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
There's still some unknown questions, right? Some people moving, and there still could be some moves and names that would be worth us talking about. But like, no giant splash. I mean, literally, you have MVP trickling out a product. And everybody's all up in a tizzy wondering what it is. So it's just like people are clamoring.
But you know what the answer is?
It's like Shark. It's like, I know what the answer is to that. Yeah, because they announced it today.
Do we want to like spoil it for anybody? I guess it's announced on their own channels. It's not a spoil.
MVP announced it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were like pushing this like they've always done for player announcements, and everyone was getting worked up. And then they're like, we're having white rims on our disc, and we're gonna like redo our stamps. And everyone. Not everyone. There's a large audience that's like, are you kidding me? We for sure thought it was somebody.
I still like it. Meaning like, I'm like you should always create buzz for all of your stuff. I suppose if people feel like you're crying wolf, that could get old. Right. But I don't know. I don't think they said they had a player, and anybody smart enough probably could figure that out. But
I have a little something from MVP I can leak. Not really leak, just because it's for my expo, but the VIP disc, all VIP members are going to get a Disc East, is from MVP. And it's actually the most insane thing ever. I'm not just saying that. Maybe I am just saying it because I own the Expos, but I don't know. Even if I didn't own it, I'd think I'm just so hyped about what they are dropping for the VIP members. It is a really, really cool disc.
I don't think I'm VIP though, and I imagine they're sold out. So
no, they're not sold out. I have a few. There's a few left. And that's so. Here's the thing. That's why I haven't announced what the disc is, because I want everyone who enjoys the expo and wants to get there early and is just trusting in the good surprise of the disc. to get their ticket before I announce the disc, and then it sells out because that's what's gonna happen. So that's why I haven't announced anything, because I want people who want a VIP to actually have a chance to get VIP. So, but probably next week I'll announce what the disc is or something like that. It's great.
By the way,
Yeah,
I think
that sounds exciting.
we're getting closer to the interview start here. Edwin Stats in the chat. People know him from other podcasts as well. We're familiar with him, and we got to meet him in person at the MVP Open, some of the celebrations there. And great guy. I love it. And he's like, hey, you guys are first, because we were just talking about that. We have Jeff tomorrow. Leave us some meat on the bone. We've been through this so many times where we've been a podcast at certain points too, where it's like you're the fourth interview and you're thinking, what is there to talk about? But I will give you this. All of our podcasts do have some cross member of listeners, right? There is some level of that. Some of you maybe exclusively listen to one or the other. We appreciate that too. But at the end of the day, you want to hear the take how maybe someone else brings it, or maybe some other avenue that wasn't thought about. And so that's what Staggered Stance does, or we try to do. So we appreciate each of you listening in here. How are you guys been doing this off season? Ben, I know you're really busy with the expo. Josh, I've been watching your social. You keeping up with like running. Yeah.
Josh with the 100-miler recently up a cliff.
Oh, no, not 100 miles.
100 miles up.
I run near cliffs, but I mean, life's been good. I mean, the last show I was on was the end of October, which is pretty crazy. Because I've done disc golf media off and on for many years, and then Staggered Stance for 2 years, and I barely skipped a week. So to have that time off is it's been good with the family. Kind of refreshing. Matt, I was mentioning to you before, I'm like, hey, I'm geared up and ready to talk about disc golf. I mean, the time off has been nice, but as soon as things ramp up, like, I'm ready to go. So yeah, it's good. I mean, it's cold up here in New England. It's been a brutal first half of the winter, but
Ben, you were at the playoff game last night?
I was at the Patriots game last night. It was electric. It was awesome. Drake May. It was I don't know. It was like it really just made me feel like life was good. It made me really reflect on things because like sports, for some reason, I hugged several different grown men that I've never talked to in my life. Didn't even talk to them. It was just like we were all celebrating, high-fiving, hugging. It just, sports brings out like something in people where they all unite, and it was really special. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then we were watching the game, and it was great.
I'm just imagining the moment in slow motion, Ben hugging these men.
What I did. Well, they were hugging me too. Okay. It's like some guy would just come up.
It's been a while. I gotta throw the gain limiter on, Ben. I forget. It's all good. All right. So we've got some guests in the green room here. We'd like to bring them in and not make them wait much longer. It's been a little while since I've hit buttons, and last time I did a show, I hit the button that shut us off. So okay, I think it's this button here. I'm thinking, how do I want to put this on screen here? Ben, sit tight for a minute. I'm going to pull you off.
Yeah, I was going to say, pull me off. You guys are the best interviewers in the world.
Not so much. We'll pull you back up here in a minute, but just for the intro here, or for the chime in whenever you want.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, Bye. Here we go. It's been a little while. Boom, just like that. Let me make sure I've got things unmuted. Looks like we're good. We didn't do any tests with you guys. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely.
Thanks for pulling the show together. And how about you guys?
Absolutely. Sounds good. And then Sean, I might as well get an audio check before we try, in a few minutes.
Go Patriots.
Yeah, you heard that. Ben's hugging grown men he doesn't know. Oh, yeah. Well, San Francisco, huh? The Niners.
I live here, but I was born and raised like 20 minutes from Foxborough. So yesterday was a good day overall. I had some folks over and we watched both games, and both results were good. I've liked the Niners. Niners have been my second favorite team even when I was a kid, so it's easy to like them.
So you're riding high. I mean, your teams are winning. You're
I've been
seeing.
dying for San Francisco Boston like clash in a title, which the Celtics played the Warriors, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and they lost in the finals.
Yeah.
But the Niners and Patriots have almost come together. It was 3 back-to-back NFC AFC championship games where they both were in it, and neither time did they both win. So hopefully this is the year. And this year the Niners are hosting the Super Bowl, so it'd be even cooler if, although they'll have a tough game next weekend against the Seahawks.
If that happens, the only thing left for you is to win the lottery, right, Sean?
Good pivot.
I also feel like for our non-video listeners, they don't see your name, Sean, but your name feels like an exclamation to me right now. Like Sean Jack, like compared to ours, it's just got this Sean Jack feel to it. So awesome to have you both on. Jeff, it's always a pleasure as well. So Josh, you did that little pivot. That was nice. We were just listening to other podcasts that you guys, and maybe not directly you, Jeff, or other, but like you guys are spreading out and spreading thin, maybe, Sean. You're like, we're doing this again, same conversation. But so some of the things that I analyzed about it and thought, well, maybe I have a follow-up question or something. So maybe, you know, between that and other questions that we bring up. It was alluded to or classified as the biggest disc golf deal in history. Why is this monumental for disc golf, and why is it the biggest disc golf deal in history? Like, I guess that's my first question.
I'll let Sean take this one because he's been dealing since before I was running the tour. But you know, back since what, you know, Sean was on the tour working with Steve in 2016. You know, GMC was on the tour, so we've both been around. But Sean's been in the trenches.
Sure. So what makes this the biggest deal? So when people try to figure out Simon Lizotte's contract and he can't tell them, people start trying to figure it out, and they're like, okay, we figured out what we think it is. What makes this the biggest disc golf deal? Is it a one-time lump sum? Is it getting paid out over years? Is it like literally huge, like life-changing for the Disc Golf Pro Tour?
As Jeff said, I've had many people text and congratulate me today.
Yeah,
and I'd say
absolutely.
It's been a 10-year effort, you know, plus, and trying to get a presenting partner for the tour, FedEx style point series, and, you know, with the Powerball Cup. So it's literally been hundreds, if not thousands of hours. I don't think we can contextualize it as the largest in the history of the sport necessarily, like if it's larger than Simon or Paul's deal or Ricky's deal.
Right.
But for us, it absolutely is. It's a multi-year deal. It's by far like the most support we've ever had from one organization. And I'll let Jeff take the baton here, but I definitely think it's game changing for the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Yeah. So what makes it game changing besides, I guess, and congratulations, by the way, it is a big outside brand and name. It is like, that's incredible. Right. I think that gives us, not that we need somebody else's affirmation, but it's helpful in all ways for a growing business and a tour. But what makes it monumental for you beyond that, just name representation?
Well, you know, we just see it as an inflection point because this is the first presenting partner that we've had. So, you know, we're at the, you know, kind of 11th year of tour operations, but also entering, I think, the 7th year of, you know, this ownership and management group. And it's been a long-term goal. And I think for us, it signifies that we're able to look at strategic growth initiatives over the next few years in a new light. So we're able to strengthen our infrastructure. We're going to expand player opportunities. We're going to work on growing disc golf into new audiences and elevating the fan experience. And those are core elements that we really, you know, feel that this partnerships puts us on really solid ground for the foreseeable future. And, you know, we also believe it will bring on more opportunities. I think, you know, Powerball is a great fit for so many reasons. And a lot of that is shared value, shared mission in terms of like opportunity creation, community impact, accessibility. And, you know, that just kind of paves a path for, you know, a bright future when we look at our 5-year goals. And so, as you guys know, like over the last 5 years, it's been a wild ride. You know, it's been like drinking out of a fire hose, growth like a wildfire. And then we've had, kind of all those people come in, some people leave while still new people coming in. So it's this like undertow moment. And to get affirmation on all of our, kind of hard work, kind of culminating the professional side of the sport, trying to be the tip of the spear for the professional side of the sport with this partnership deal. I think that's what we're speaking to. And we say like, hey, this is, a game-changing partnership for us, and really just looking at future growth opportunities and just kind of living up to the promise of the tour in our eyes.
Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, congrats. I think we'll probably, I would hope to be able to dig into a couple different angles with you all because I have different types of questions, but focusing on the impact for the tour, like you mentioned, multi-year, Sean, what did you say, over 10 years, Jeff, 11th year of operations. And I believe the announcement says it's a multi-year deal with at least 2 years at this point. Do you feel like it? So here's my thought: is we all know disc golf is a sport, and it'll be fine, just fine as a sport forever. That's not the question when you're looking for sponsors. The question is it commercially viable, right? Like, because the sport's a sport, but is it commercially viable as a sport, which is the business question. And do you feel with Powerball here that obviously they see opportunity and value, or else they wouldn't do it? Is this more of like a proof of concept on the commercial viability for the Pro Tour, or is this like, no, we've already been dabbling in that, and this proves that the sport has arrived?
I'll start, and then Shauna, you want to follow up on this one? Yeah, I agree. I think that the sport's going to be around, whether there's commercially viable, pro side. I don't think that this is really, about commercially viable. We've been commercially viable for a while. And this, I think, signals where the potential on the commercial side can go, though. I think that, to me, when we think about disc golf, most of the folks in our organization got in because we have a shared passion for the sport. And that really, through like talking to our team, really derives through connection to nature, being outside, kind of not following, maybe social trends. And like, there's a lot of people in the sport that like to, blaze their own trail, and I think that culminates into like our team. We want to, bring the disc golf to the world because we think it makes a positive impact on it. And, when we think about blending that with commercial viability, it's not really about, dollars and cents. It's more about like growing our audience, exposing the world to disc golf. And we, in our, you can do that a lot of different ways. Grassroots, build courses, we work with Edge and Uplay. There's a lot of ways to do that. We feel our, part of that mission is being the tip of the spear with broad-based exposure. And as we think about the importance of this deal, I think it shows that, yeah, we can keep climbing up that ladder and be more widely accessible. We can be found by more people. We can, kind of follow more of our strategic growth goals in terms of distributing media like wider, because, of course, as most people know in media, you want to buy some airtime on big channels. Sure, you got to have a great product, you got to prove it, but you also have some money, as well. So, that's not necessarily to say that that's going to be like the number one thing that we do. But I think when, we have growth capital, we can expand our mission, our vision of bringing that stage, to more people quicker. And I so to me, I feel like we are not to go on and on, but we are commercially, viable. We have been, but it's just about where can we go? Where can we go on the pro side? Because I agree. Hopefully I'll be able to always go down the street and play a local course, even if it's not Brewster or Fox. So,
yeah. Sean, I mean, I you can add to that. I mean, Jeff elaborated, but also maybe I would add to this is, so between us, and when I say us, in this case, the Pro Tour and Powerball, how are you going to define success in this partnership? So at the end of 2 years, like, what do you look at and say, yeah, this worked?
Great question. I've had people ask me today, like, what's the angle here? And I don't think, obviously, everyone wants to get ROI out of an ad spend, but not every marketing budget is specifically tracking return on investment. I think we can help tell the story about how Powerball provides support for local good causes in every state where you purchase a ticket. So if Jeff buys a ticket for $2 in Vermont, more than $1 goes towards a whole host of nonprofits and good causes in that area. I think we can be a sounding board for that message for them, especially since a lot of the good causes, I think, are very close to disc golf, whether they are helping military. We know that a lot of military folks find disc golf to help treat PTSD, to get back into a community. In California, I think nearly 100% go to public education. So when I bought tickets on Christmas Eve to hopefully win $1 billion, it goes to my daughter's elementary school, So I really hope we can help tell that story. And, the fact that Powerball can change lives, like overnight. That's, I really do. That's one of our visions for the tour, is to build disc golf on the biggest stage to help grow the sport. And, I know the tour has helped change the lives of our athletes in a positive way. So that shared vision, paired with being able to communicate what they do in the local community where tickets are purchased, is something that I'm really going to focus on. I hope we can over deliver for them. And I hope the conversation at the end of this year or next is easy for them.
So I learned today about 7 months-ish, maybe, from the inception of this conversation, starting with a gentleman from the lottery in Oklahoma, I think, is, if I'm not mistaken, found disc golf during the pandemic. And so there was a connection there through the agency you're working with. So I'm curious on the inside, how that's navigated. So obviously the agency brings, hey, I think we got a great partnership here. We can introduce you. I understand that. What is it? Why does it take 7 months, if you will? Now you got to get through that introductory period and then you got to get into the details, but like, are there concerns on both sides, or does this feel more risky for Powerball, right? The person who's going to be investing, if you want to call it the monetary value, or however they're doing that investment / sponsorship, did they have concerns that they wanted to work through that period of time where it was like, we really need to see how all these engagements, all these views, we need everything combined, because at some level you decided, or they did, that they want the presenting title for the Disc Golf Pro Tour in the name. So like, what did it take? Did they have concerns, and what did it take to get to that point?
Sean is in the nuts and bolts of this one,
Yeah.
so I'll let you go.
Go ahead,
But
Sean.
no, I was never presented with any concerns. Just
Okay.
a lot of big, partnerships, and it's not just this one. Do spend a lot of time in the oven,
Yeah.
and working out all the little details, and so I think that's a pretty normal negotiating period for a deal of this size. And Sean, take it from there.
Did they have any concerns, Sean?
I don't think it was concerns. I don't think it was like due diligence about culture fit. I just looked, I'm glad that you asked this. I just looked, the first email I have is mid-April from 2025.
Maybe a little more than 7 months. Nice.
Yeah. And what it comes down to, so Jay is the executive director of Oklahoma Lottery, but he also is the head of the marketing board for Powerball, or Muscle, Multi-State Lottery Association nationwide. There's 45 states that participate in Powerball. So there's 45 decision makers, right? I can't. And as someone that works in sponsorship sales, like the sales cycle is long. Like LL Bean took me 9 years to get to maybe 7 years, like to get to the finish line before they sponsored the 2023 World Championships. So a media buy where someone just buys ads on a network is very different than sponsorship, right? Because you are true partners. And there's just a lot more stakeholders internally that need to be convinced. So we had to go back to them and provide a lot more data, where their dollars were going, what the impression value was. And honestly, Jay became our inside sales champion and almost an extension of our team to help close this. And he's even said, like, he was skittish to even inform his coworkers or his colleagues that he was a disc golfer, because he didn't want that to negatively impact the message.
Right.
And then the we got the approval in early November, and it just took a couple months for us to. There's so much work we have to do to transform the website, the social pages,
Mm-hmm.
get the press release done. We thought about having this drop like early December, but it just took so much work.
Yeah.
And we settled on, essentially the first Monday coming out of the holiday break. And so far I've been super excited with the response, especially from the partners. I've talked to half a dozen or so of our partners on the phone and on video calls, and I'm getting fist bumps, which is cool.
Awesome. Two follow-ups to that, and then Josh, I'll throw it to you. One is, if you had to say, how many meetings did the Pro Tour have on this? Not internally, not like Pro Tour internal meetings, but like in combination with Powerball to get to this point. Was it dozens, or was it like 5?
No.
Okay.
It was educating Jay to be like me inside Powerball, and because they meet like on a monthly or quarterly basis, depending on the committee, and just equipping him with all the ammo he could have to tell the story. But it wasn't like an egregious amount. Like it was what I would expect. It wasn't like as a percentage of the revenue, anything more than a Premier Tour partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. I forget what the other one is. Probably not important. Josh or Ben.
All right, so I want to ask, what are other impacts? So some of this is in the press release, but even beyond that. So besides this being awesome for the Pro Tour as a partnership, infusion, support, whatever, but what's any impact that the players, like the professional players, like is there anything that will change for them besides the awesome fact that the tour they play on is sponsored by a big name, right? Is there any practical impact for them as a result of this?
Yeah, I can speak to a few, and it starts with the Powerball Cup. The race to the Powerball Cup. I think a little bit of this is modeled on the FedEx Cup and golf for the PGA Tour, and so we want to make sure that at the end of the year, the purse for the Powerball Cup is going to set a new record, and we've shared that, while the final total is not confirmed yet, it will be a new purse record at the end of the year. Additionally, we have a lot of fan engagement elements in this, and we've announced one of them. We expect to do more, Powerball Ace. And we feel like that's going to have a positive impact on turnout, spectators on site, and through spectator revenue, like that, really directly impacts purses at events. And so we believe, purses along the way will continue to rise. The last couple of years, we've really held strong and continued to push like overall like average per event purse up. But, I think we continue to see a bright future there in regards to the players, and players want to play in front of fans, and the more we can do to increase the fan experience, the infrastructure on site, making sure that the player amenities are professional. There's just a little bit, more gas that we have to work with there to push those things forward. And I think that new audiences is certainly something that we have our eye on. As I mentioned, strategic growth requires capital. This is definitely going to make, an impact on helping us, achieve our growth goals with new audiences and bringing more eyes to the players. And really, it's that stage that we're trying to focus people on site and online, on growing that stage. And that's really what this is all going towards is making that stage bigger. And the players are the ones that step out on it. So I think there's going to be a lot of player benefits for sure.
You mentioned something that makes me think, is there any conversation? So we will promote Powerball a lot, which we've already done just even in the last 12 hours, or less than 12, 6 hours, right? Is Powerball, is there any expectation that at any point they promote Disc Golf Network, Pro Tour?
I hope so. I've been thinking about this a lot. Is obviously their financial contribution is a great benefit to the tour, but how do we leverage their audience, which is hundreds of millions of Americans? I know that they've run sweepstakes with NASCAR and the NFL. I would love to get them to do something like that for our tour championship, the Powerball Cup. I have not figured that out yet, but I definitely want to figure out a way to get the sport in front of more people using the size of their fan base.
Yeah, I mean, I can just imagine. Or even before you joined, I was like, Matt and Ben and I were talking. I'm like, can we get them to like draw the Powerball numbers like at the end of a disc golf? Like
we've talked about that with them.
Production, something.
Yeah, yeah. Because they have a machine that they bring, not officially. I think they officially draw numbers in Florida, but for promotional purposes. So we've discussed different opportunities like that. And as I said, like every single state in which we have an event in the tour, I think is on Powerball, and they all have a local executive team. We want to bring those folks on site, right, to do exciting things. And part of our agreement is that they get 100 tickets for every single event. That's probably not going to be disc golfers, right? That's probably going to be, people that have never even seen the sport professionally. And I know personally, like the first time someone sees someone throw a disc 500 feet, it is shocking. And I want to get more of those moments delivered to, outside of our core fan base.
Yep. All right. So Jeff had mentioned kind of in passing, but other activations, they're directly sponsoring this like ACE opportunity for fans, right? So you talked about the players. What will fans expect to see different besides branding all over the place? So they get this on-site ACE chance at most of the events.
All 15 US-based events on Saturday and on camera. This is between MPO2 and MPO1.
Okay, that's cool.
Where we're going to I can't wait for like my tournament because I have a stage for hole 1.
Yeah.
So 5 lucky fans will walk up on the stage at OTB Open. We'll put a basket out there between $150 and 200 feet. And, we'll get the crowd going. We have bleachers there. I think it's going to be a really cool moment just to bring like so many fans in one place at one time. And, man, I really hope someone hits the first tournament. Like it would help us sell a lot more tickets and just create a great media moment. But so when you arrive now to a Disc Golf Pro Tour event, you will see like a Powerball branded archway. Similar, if you ever did a road race, this is oftentimes what's featured at the finish line. So we'll have like a new inflatable structure that will guide you to where you can enter. There's a new Powerball VIP area that we're working on right now. It's either going to be 20 by 20 or 20 by 30. We're hoping to get monitors in there so you can actually watch the coverage. So like much better hospitality than we've seen on the tour so far. Like honestly, just stealing what UC did at Worlds this year, where we had the skyboxes with some catered food, TVs. I'm trying to think. Powerball will have one of the trust structures along with Zuka. They have a whole sponsorship. We're gonna make 1,000 Powerball branded discs. And again, I think there's still a lot of unknowns to what we can do if we collaborate and get creative.
So that's what I'm thinking, that the Powerball branded discs, their logo has that red circle. That I know it's a Powerball, but man, that could be a disc.
We intend to make it. Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't do it right away. We just did, I think, the logo lockup on the new bar stamp, but we absolutely want to make just their name on a disc, and with different numbers, perhaps, that we can make them collectible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, just a red, like ball with a number, and then like it may be exclusive, may be tough to get every number. You may want to get everyone, or get your favorite number. But there's a lot of other fan activation ideas that we have, and who knows what will roll out this year or not. But the good part is that they're really engaged and want it to be a partnership. Like they want to think about ideas, see what works, try new things, and really work together to achieve mutual goals. So it's pretty awesome. They've been fantastic so far. So
all right, Jeff, you're gonna go here in a minute. We know that when we lined you up. I guess my last question to you, and I don't know if you will or won't have an answer. That's how it always goes. But there's a certain monetary value. Is this like a cash in pocket or a budget item now, where it's like, hey, we have this much extra, if you want to call it extra, and now, quote, a wish list or a budget item that now might exist that wasn't going to exist? I mean, like, what are these things? Or is there a thing? I know assets will probably be some of them upgraded and all that. Like, is there anything like really cool that now is like, maybe it's going to happen?
Sean's like bobbing his head like he can think of a couple things. I mean, there are certainly, more infrastructure that we're planning on rolling out at every event, and having more, VIP experience, tents, zones, food and beverage options so like definitely green lighting some, more fan experience stuff, player experience. Sean, what do you got?
The one thing I've wanted now for a couple of years is like a brand recognition tool that uses AI to, most sports properties have these, and we're in the process right now, hopefully getting to the finish line with a proposal where basically we would partner with software that would watch DGN, YouTube, Jomez YouTube, and maybe a dozen players' YouTube channels, everyone's social handles, and it essentially watches and does brand recognition and can spot logos, and even down to like a fan's hat logo in the audience. And then it's really nerdy. You can, for those out there that know digital marketing, you can actually get the impressions, assign a CPM or a cost per mil, the dollar amount to reach 1,000 people, and figure out what that brand, what the value is that we're delivering from them. And like we have reporting from the network, from DGN and social, but we don't have anything as robust and sophisticated as this that says like literally Zuka, your logo was seen 47 million times during the 2026 season.
Yeah.
And these were the impressions that were delivered. Because we don't capture like the player vlogs, Ezra's vlogs, Simon's vlogs. I talk about it and contextualize it like when I'm pitching disc golf, like in our deck, but it's sort of this unknown. And then also earned media, like what are the views coming out when we get on SportsCenter? We don't really know. So I've talked to a couple partners and said I have good news and bad news. The good news is we will likely have a new tool that will improve reporting. The bad news is I'm probably going to come back to you in 12 months and say that we're way providing more value than you're paying us. So that's the shiny new toy that I really want.
That sounds cool.
We've got something actually similar that we've already signed on and analyzes like on-site traffic.
That's a cool one too.
That is, and we decided to pull the trigger on that once,
really cool.
Hey, we've got this signed, sealed, and delivered. And so, those are just growth tool opportunities, bringing more people on, getting more data about, our operation and the impact that we have for partners and like DMOs, so the marketing organizations and cities and counties and that kind of thing. So, just things to kind of reinvest in growth, really.
Like Matt, if you come to, I almost said a Black Room Open to date myself. If you go to MVP this year, this new software will know where you go shopping after the event.
Nice.
So we'll get anonymized cell phone data to tell us that of the 3,000 spectators that went to Maple Hill, 600 went to Wormtown Brewery in Worcester, 200 went to
so that's cool.
Then we can take that data and then go to those folks and seek more sponsorships.
Yeah.
Right. Like we already know that our audience are fans of yours. Why don't you lean into it? Why don't you maybe come on site? Vent. So that's really powerful for us to go back to what Jeff mentioned, CVBs and DMOs, to perhaps get more support from those organizations like, I forget, Visit Western Mass or Visit Central Mass or Visit Worcester, which honestly, we now have a good relationship with those organizations nationwide for every single tour event, but it'll just help us provide more reporting to them.
Yeah. We're partnered with Visit Charlotte, Austin Sports Commission, Jefferson Parish, New Orleans. And like that's data that they're looking for. And so we can deliver on that and keep it rolling.
And to be clear, that's only because people have allowed permissions on their phone. It's not like you guys are hacking people's phones. I just want people out there to think about this.
It is a legal service.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is permissions. This is permissions that you've allowed. So that's pretty cool.
As Sean said, it's anonymous.
Right. Yeah. Pretty cool. Jeff, thanks for your time. We're going to stick around here with a little bit longer, Sean, if you have a little bit more time.
Yeah, that's cool. I got like 15 minutes.
All right, cool. Let's see if I hit the right buttons here. We'll talk to you later, Jeff. Have a good one. Nope, didn't. What do I got to do here? Oh, I got to pull me.
Jeff, you're now hosting.
I got to pull me.
It's like a slot machine.
Yeah, we said bye, but here I go. Thanks.
Ding, ding, ding.
It is like us, not the lottery.
It looks like a slot machine.
This is the slot machine. We can cycle Jack through. Let's see. I can put Josh and Jack. I can do.
That's too many Joshes. So
Ben, did I hear you were at Gillette yesterday at the? I came
I
on.
was.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Speak-
First playoff game ever for me. It was awesome.
It's the only playoff game that wasn't absolutely thrilling down to the last minute.
Yeah. It
Starting in like the fourth quarter was a pretty easy watch.
it was, but there was still a chance, right? Like until
It was
like, four minutes left.
It was still very exciting. Just cut. It was a dogfight, and it was just like didn't really know what was gonna happen. But then once that Hunter Henry touchdown, that it erupted. That's when, because that's why I think it was exciting, at least for the people in the stadium, because we were just cheering at every big play, and then Drake May would turn it over, and then it's like, oh, and then we cheering for defense, and it's like, yeah, and then they'd get stopped again. It's like, oh, so it was just back and forth, but it was really fun, and I'm glad I pulled the trigger on the tickets and went.
That's cool.
I wanted to get this in because speaking of Gillette, speaking of cool AI and tracking and brand recognition, I don't know if you experienced this, Ben, and maybe this is at every I don't know, NFL stadium or MLB. I've never seen it, but they had this one vendor. I don't know what they would call it, a section. It was roped off, and as you would go to the gate, a little turnstile thing, you would put your credit card in and take it out before you went into the store, and that was it.
Gives you the admission,
and
right?
you go into the store. And literally, you feel like a criminal. You just start taking things off shelves and putting them in your pockets, and you just walk away. And that was it. And you think, I was like taking stuff off. My kid's taking stuff off with me, and he's putting stuff back up. And I'm going, is this tracking it? And
that's dangerous, though.
Yeah, it is. But they said it was fine. They said you could bring a kid through with you and everything. And like, they have 6 cameras up there that just watch, and it's AI, and it says.
But I'm saying, like, monetary. I feel like you'd overspend doing it because you're like, oh, I'll get a few water bottles.
That's the whole point.
Yes, Sean.
Yeah,
and so maybe the Pro Tour, you
yeah.
walk on the Pro Tour venue, and you can just take things from everywhere, and it just charges you. That'd be pretty cool. I'll take that disc, that hoodie.
Coming down, Matt, what you're saying is actually pretty prescient. There will be a technology like that at some Pro Tour events.
Cool.
All right, there we go.
Ooh.
Like similar to where festivals, where your bracelet acts as your wallet.
Yeah. Cool.
So I have 2 follow-ups before we end up running out of time. So again, congrats, big deal. But Powerball's US centric. Was there any conversations around the European?
Yeah, definitely. We have 3 Pro Tour, 2.5 Pro Tour events in Europe this summer. One's only MPO with Hinola. We definitely talked about it. They'll still get their digital asset placements when we're overseas. I don't think they'll be on-course assets, but they don't think it's a negative that we're spreading the word about Powerball overseas. Like, foreigners can buy tickets, when they come here. So
yeah.
No conflict there that I know of at all whatsoever. And we covered it briefly, but it wasn't at all like a hurdle.
Yep. And this is exclusive for the Pro Tour, meaning it's not no direct overlap with any like PDGA majors, like, or is the coverage from Disc Golf Network end up overlapping that in any way? Like, it's not like Pro Worlds is going to have Powerball all over it.
On the broadcast, you will likely still see like lower third advertising and maybe a 30-second spot, but not like we do during US based events. It'll be a lot of Powerball, like the Powerball Ace Challenge, and we'll throw the jackpot up from time to time during the broadcast, but it'll be like, I would guess, diet Powerball during majors.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they'll only like we have a lot of tour partners that have on-course assets for Pro Tour events alone, but they still get their commercials at majors. It's the exact same relationship.
So does this give you any ins or connections? I don't know how this works with the multi-state lottery, like with local state lotteries and all the venues you're at. Like, does that also open up sponsorship connections for the events from the state lotteries?
I certainly hope so. Ty, our TD for Des Moines, is already been in contact with them. We will get those contacts pushed out to the TDs and LOCs as soon as we can. we will welcome all the state lottery associations to come on sites, and they can even sell tickets. They can just engage with the customer. They can do a prize wheel. We want them to be on site to help tell their story. But those conversations specifically have not like matriculated down to the event teams.
Yeah. But that's how these big sponsorships, sometimes they make a splash, right? And then you build relationships
That-
and
I mean-
networks and opportunities. So
Besides the press release in our little ecosystem of disc golf, we push this out on a wire to get outside the sports. And I have expectations that there are other key marketing or chief marketing officers in the world that are going to go, holy
Wait, what's
smokes,
this?
like
Yeah.
Powerball sponsored what? You know what I mean? And start paying attention. We have
Oh,
a
that-
very, very valuable audience.
That's literally because I was in a few discords and people
Mhm.
were like, "Oh, like I don't know about the Powerball," and that's literally what I said. Like, yeah, it's like me personally, I don't like gambling personally, but
Yeah,
I think that this deal is huge for disc golf and the disc golf pro tour because exactly what you said, and that's exactly what I said, is that it's like, okay, wow, they have Powerball, the Powerball presenting the pro tour. There must be something there, and I really truly believe that because of this, there's going to be some more major brand representation in the disc golf and disc golf pro tour in the future, just because of this. So I think it's really big for disc
Yeah,
golf.
I mean, just with our agency pivot that helped broker this deal, when they're doing their outreach now, right, their cold emails, it's going to say that disc golf pro tour is presented by Powerball.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of inbound emails for products and services that people want to sell the tour. I would pay attention more if that name is attached to it. Everyone knows the name. And I hear you with some people maybe not being thrilled with the category of like gambling, but of all the gambling opportunities we have in our lives, I think like the lottery is like the most warm and fuzzy. It's not like sitting at a slot machine, which is providing a dopamine hit every 10 seconds. And it's not like, I don't feel as if the lottery is ever extorting people out of money like free alcohol, no clocks and windows does.
Yeah, no, my family, when Powerball gets $1 million, like my family doesn't gamble, but they do get that $20 ticket just because it's like,
Yeah.
hey, why not? It's just
you pay $20 to have a Christmas Eve. I bought a $20 ticket, and my wife and I dreamed for 30 minutes about what we would do.
exactly. Yeah, they do that. So
I will
By the
put
way,
it.
they start at $10 million. I think. It's
Yeah,
the
I was just
lowest
gonna
they
say
go.
it's not $1 million, but if let's just put it this way, and
1 billion, I said.
You meant billion.
billion. You
Did I
can
say billion? Yeah,
You did the
no, yeah,
Dr.
when
Evil mistake.
yeah. When it was $1 billion,
Okay,
every
1
time it
billion.
gets to $1 billion, my family's like, okay, well, let's just see. But 1 billion is the number, I think.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I win Powerball, it's on
Mhm.
record here right now. Everyone who subscribes to this channel before I won Powerball, I will divide it evenly. There you go.
Including you get an equal share.
I'll get an equal share. Yeah. So currently, we
How
would
about
all.
you get 50% and you definitely
No,
get the
I
other
think
50%.
it's fair just to divide it equally and just have everybody spread the love. I think it would be if you say it starts at 10 million and I won that, that'd be $1,000 for each of us. Not bad, right? But if people keep subscribing, it goes down. I want to revisit one of the questions I asked earlier. I might have missed the answer to it, but I also might not have. When you were at the table, if you will, through these meetings, these dozens of meetings, at some point, it was either a pro tour or mutually collaborative, but somebody said like, we want the title presented by.
Yep.
Were there other options out there? Was it like, or was this kind of like, we know to get Powerball to make this deal happen, like that's the only thing? Or like, were there other options that were like, or they were like, no, we're not interested in anything else. That's all we want.
I mean, there wasn't a bidding war, if that's what you're trying to get at.
No, I'm trying to get at like, were we big enough with something else? Or was this like the only thing that we could offer that was exciting for them was the presented by?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
They were given two options.
Okay.
They were given the option to be like the FedEx Cup,
Right.
the point series sponsor, and to own the finals. And then they were given the option to go big.
Okay.
And to own the whole tour and all components within the shorter package. We were obviously thrilled that they wanted to upgrade.
And so again, the Pro Tour, I'm assuming, has chosen not to disclose the actual details of the monetary value, but one was worth more than other, and they thought to themselves, well, we don't mind spending more for the bigger package. Is that probably how that played out?
Yeah, we're finally big enough now to get conversations with marketing budgets that don't always care about price.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think this is an entity like that.
Yep.
You know, like, I don't know what percentage of each respective jackpot goes back into Powerball operations, but I imagine they're not having challenges,
Right.
you know, with cash flow.
Yep.
So for them, it was just really defining the value we could provide for the number and giving them a multiple of like several that they're getting from us. And the fact that they could leverage our, you know, our outlets to help tell the story. Like, I've had 2 people text me and say, like, I saw your quote. I had no idea that Powerball gave back money. Not only like some, more than half of it. And so, and locally, like, that's important.
Yeah, I don't think I've looked into it. Honestly, I hadn't researched that either. You just think it's a lottery company, you know, taxes go to the states, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's an interesting, I don't want to say angle. I've seen people commenting on this thinking one way about it or the other, but I think that is interesting and beneficial, at least to know that. Josh or Ben, anything else?
No, we could go on and on. I'm sure we'll even debate it, and the interwebs will. I think most people will recognize it's pretty exciting to have a deal make a splash like this. Obviously, the debates will be all around, well, do we like this kind of sponsor? But
Sure.
From a corporate brand deal standpoint, it's one of the biggest, as you've said.
From a corporate,
pretty cool.
It's huge.
Yeah, most of the takeaway I see a lot regarding like the category is that at least it's not DraftKings. I think people are happy.
I've seen that.
Someone just commented that in our chat, literally.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah,
Although
literally, that's so funny
you don't have to
that.
answer this, but I'm not so sure if DraftKings paid enough money, we wouldn't sign up for that either. So you don't have to answer that, Sean.
I don't know.
Yes, they're not. They're not.
We don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested just in a large part. Obviously, there's like the initial splash, then there's like the trickle effect of to other places in disc golf. Like, does this ultimately, and it doesn't have to be a sales pitch, but ultimately, does this benefit disc golf as a whole? Like disc golf, like, so now,
grassroots play, like the UDIS numbers and the courses on the ground.
Everything exactly. I think everything would continue to grow. I think something like this causes.
How does it stymie growth?
Yeah,
I don't understand that at all. I mean, the sport is simply too much fun and too cheap for the value it brings to not continue growing. And I think UDIS says that like we all introduce disc golf to like half a person a year, or at least try to. So I don't see how. So someone's gonna not play disc golf because there's a sponsor of the tour that they don't like. Like, I'm still gonna go throw frisbees in the woods with my friends. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see that happening at all. And again, I don't know how to thread the needle yet, but our team and theirs is gonna get creative to figure out how to bring more people in the sport.
Yeah, that's good.
And I mean, I feel like every major sport we see that you support has gambling, like DraftKings as their sponsor or whatever. So
I would say every minor sport.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you see like if you're a fan of NFL, they have like DraftKings picks and stuff like that. So I think it's just par for course. It's just what it is.
Well, hopefully Jeff gives you a good bonus, or whoever's responsible for making those decisions. So good work, Sean.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
All right. Unless there's any other.
I'll see you guys at Disc East. Yeah.
Oh, you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know you're coming. Let's go.
Yeah. I might not have come if it weren't for this announcement, but I can also parlay it into, no pun intended, to come in to see friends and family. So I fly to Boston next Wednesday, and I'm there through Sunday. So I'll be.
We'll
we're hosting an event on Saturday night that I hope you guys can come to.
Yes. Matt and Josh will be there, so it's gonna be awesome.
Not you.
Oh, I'll be there too. Sorry,
he's too busy.
No, I'll be there.
Mentally, because you're the TV doesn't mean you can't have some fun.
Mentally checked out.
I'm so excited for it. I'm very excited for it.
Awesome. No, that's great. Awesome. It is coming up. It's right around the corner. We'll talk a little bit about that. But thanks for your time a lot, Sean. It's always great, easy conversation and great information. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, gents. Have a great night.
Peace out. There you go, everybody. Just like that, CEO of the Disc Golf Pro Tour and Sean Jack, Vice President of Partnerships. I mean, you could do sub category podcasts, offshoots off of this. Like, let's talk about like what is the value of a partnership? Like how, like you could go into whole classes on that, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to say necessarily that like a deal like this would take away the growth. But there are people that want disc golf to be what it always was. And I think it's just, I'm not anti somebody having that nostalgic feeling of how they were introduced to disc golf. Cause like I can remember those times and what it was in the same league with the same 25 people every week. Nobody knew, maybe one here and there. Now I go to a league and it's 80 people and I don't know like nearly all, not even close to all of them. Disc golf has grown and it's become something, of a feeling, it's become something a little bit different. But if you ever go out there and do, I don't know, you call it a soul round, where you just go out and play disc golf by yourself, you can get that feeling back. Now, some people will say, well, the courses are too slammed. I can't get that solo feeling back. Anyways, I think disc golf is would be fine without it. But I do think disc golf itself will grow larger because of investments like this.
Yeah. Yes. And I think 95% of disc golfers objectively would understand the value this brings to the business on the professional side. Obviously, the debate, for better or worse, is going to be around whether we like having a quote-unquote gambling, right, enterprise being the title sponsor. That's going to be the debate. And like we barely dabbled in that here because we could all share our opinions. At the end of the day, like it's like you can have your own perspective on whether you think it's good, wise, moral, effective, productive. Like really, we actually could have that debate. I even think on this show we'd probably have a little bit of a range of opinions, but purely from a business standpoint, they're a corporation running the Pro Tour, trying to draw funds, right, to infuse capital, to support players, to run a business, to, you know, push media out. And so their job is to secure corporate sponsorships. And sure, there's some threshold there, but this is literally a lottery that's held in 46 of the US states. It's pretty mainstream. And so even if you have a different opinion on the goodness or badness of it from a business standpoint, that's why we keep saying congrats. Like it's a big splash.
I think it's such a big deal, like the gambling aspect, because it's like the sports. I don't know if it's first or like it's like one of its only like big, like, you know, no one has ever presented the Pro Tour. Whereas like every major sport, like I said, like when I say major, like the big five in America has gambling sponsors.
They have sports gambling. This is not sports gambling, right?
But like they even sponsor like the NFL, NBA, but it's just like a lower thirds or something amongst the millions of other sponsors. So I think that's why it's like people probably don't realize, but just because it's that one pinpoint thing, I think that's why. Like even though we bet on the show, like I don't know.
Like, that's like friendly betting.
I don't know.
We're doing friend bets. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying I'm against gambling because I don't know a single person that has benefited from gambling, but I know many people personally that have ruined their lives from gambling. I don't agree with it. I don't think like you should gamble at all personally. Like obviously the Powerball is like if it's $1 billion, still it's a gray area. But me personally, I just don't like gambling. But like I think it's just how it is in sports. Gambling is a part of sports, and there's always going to be gambling sponsors in sports. And I think it's great for disc golf because it's a major company. Even though it is the Powerball, I think it's going to be good for disc golf.
When I was a kid, Ben, we would gamble with like Oreos. We'd play poker and we're using Oreos and like I'm betting with my bag of Oreos versus yours. Like I'm being kind of funny about that, but like this wasn't a show to talk about is gambling good or right or wrong. I like that you shared your perspective, Ben.
It's just hard to avoid it
because we all have different perspectives on what that is. But that's the point. You have that perspective. Maybe I feel like it's okay. Maybe I have intricate thoughts about like who should and shouldn't, but I can't judge if they should or shouldn't either.
I guess in moderate, if you could, I'm just saying, like, I've seen it ruin, but obviously in moderation, I don't think it's a problem at all. If you can contain yourself to do
there's a lot of
$10
things in moderation.
Yeah,
disc golf has ruined lives. I mean, think of all the people who've spent their life investment on disc golf.
Yeah, I guess I just have a staunch opinion because I know multiple people. That's probably why. But me personally, like I don't have an issue with it, and I know it's an addiction, and I know it's like a serious like a disease that people can get it. That's why I'm more of the camp of like, just stay away from it. It's not even worth it.
And that's fair. And that's fair.
I don't think it's a bad thing per se if you can control yourself. Like, I've been to the casino on my birthday and
there you go,
put down $50 on black. You know, it's like I'm not saying I don't gamble here and there. I'm just saying I know.
You're saying you wish you didn't gamble here and there because you would have had a little more money in your pocket.
I know moderation, and I know that if you lose, you just walk away.
That was like I used to hunt. I'm sorry for those who think hunting's wrong. It's like anybody can find, but like I stopped hunting, and it was mainly archery. I guess I did archery and I did shotgun for whitetail deer, and I never got one. I shot archery at 1 or 2. I called them in, and then like I waited and I got them to stop or whatever, and I would shoot. I never practiced archery, so I missed. And then shotgun season came around, which is a New England thing, Massachusetts specifically, no rifle hunting. Well, no rifle for white. Well, anyways, I had a tag for a doe or a buck. I don't remember which way it was now. I scoped in on it. It wasn't the tag I had, so I couldn't shoot it. At some point, I lost so many times, I stopped liking hunting. And that was a long roundabout way to say, like, yeah, you're doing something. It's not going well. It's not a good thing for you. Maybe that's the case. In most situations, I don't say just like, do what feels good, because that's usually not the case. Like, think of the people who are doing what doesn't feel good. They're usually the ones that are excelling. But I would say, yeah, I don't want to say do what feels good. Do what's right in your situation.
Is it like in the same realm as like Anheuser-Busch sponsoring Fenway Park? Like, alcohol could be a very bad thing, but in moderation.
But this is the hard part.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I don't need to have a political conversation now. I'm going to stay very far from that for now. I'll do that privately with anybody.
No, I'm just saying, I don't know. Like,
no, but like
what is the opinion on that? I don't know. It's like hard to.
But people, so I'm not making fun of vegans. I think there's a time and a place for that as well. That's like my statement right after you say that. I'm not making fun of vegans. Not making fun. But like, they have opinions on like people doing things too. Like, they're like, hey, I can't support that because they have animal products or whatever. Like, everybody has a take, and that's all I'm trying to say. And I'm okay with everybody having a take. Yeah. You just have to decide for yourself, what is that move for you? And I think that's what the Pro Tour did here, and they're happy with it. It doesn't mean you have to be, but we're just talking about the details of that. And I don't think there's going to be there's always the small minority or vocal minority, as they say, right? Whether it's social media or anywhere else, that is going to talk and say these things like, well, this is horrible. Yay, we support gambling. Hey, people ruin their lives for this. Way to go, Pro Tour. And it's kind of like, we can find that in any single sponsor that we would ever get a reason to like say something like, well, did you know this? Or did you know that? Like, it's our culture largely now.
There's pros and cons to literally everything. And everyone, like you said, everyone's going to have a different opinion, which is honestly like the beautiful thing about life itself. It's like, you don't have to conform. You can have your own opinion and you can express it, and you have free speech. And I think that's a very awesome and cool thing. But there's pros and cons to everything. So there's good and bad. Like I said.
Thanks, Tom, for coming to our TED Talk, everybody. So overthrow. People have died from too much Peloton. Josh, speaking of which, we can close out with a little running tidbit. You're probably very familiar. I forget his name now. A young guy entered the scene a few years ago or a year ago. A young guy, and he's like winning a lot of these ultra marathons, the 50 milers, 100 milers. Do you remember his name?
Yes, he's sponsored by Ultra. Yeah, we can talk sponsorships here.
So I bring him up. I don't remember his name now. I want to say it's like a T or something.
Yep. Hold on. I'm gonna give it to Hans Troyer.
Oh, Troyer. Okay. So I love when YouTube throws these documentary, like not full length, 40, 50 minute videos on YouTube. I love that. the ultra marathon stuff, I found myself watching some of his stuff, and he, in one of his races, pushed himself. I think it was his first 50 miler, and he pushed himself so hard. What's the rondo? What's the word when you push yourself too far and your liver shuts down? Rhabdo. I said rondo. Yeah. Rhabdo. And
rhabdomyolysis. Yeah.
He pushed himself so far he had to go to the hospital for 12 days after his run because he nearly killed himself.
Wait, what?
It's actually common. I have not had it happen, but I've had to be aware of it.
So,
I did not know it was a thing.
So the point is, like, he goes, I didn't think, he said, if my body allowed me to do it, I didn't think that it could, like, permanently hurt me. Like, it wasn't going to kill me. But the reality is, I guess, mind over matter. You can do things that will kill yourself. So took that to that place. But the point is, anything can become bad, Ben.
Anything.
That's
why Ben quit running.
Yeah, I Josh followed me on Strava. I ran
For
twice,
2 days.
maybe 3 times, but I knew I was gonna do that. I literally in my Strava like titles, it's like this is probably my last run. Like I don't know how long it's gonna last. But yeah, there's pros and cons to literally everything.
Yeah.
I think, and we have free will to do whatever.
Yes.
But yeah.
I have a feeling we're trying to wrap up, so this is literally talk about tangents, but I'm just going to state it because I've had more than one person comment on our show that they enjoy ultra running and running talk. So for that one or two, it is crazy to me, the parallels between disc golf and ultra running. I'm not talking about mainstream like marathon, half marathon, 5K, but ultra running. So listen, I listen to podcasts in that space as much as I do disc golf, and it's like the same thing. There's different style podcasts. There's different style personas. They're talking about sponsorships. They're just now getting their first agents, helping people secure deals. They're trying to get non-endemic sponsors in because right now it's all shoe sponsors, which are manufacturers. It's just crazy to me, the parallels. The big difference they have is people know what running is, right? People don't know disc golf as much. But ultra running, people don't know. There's like a whole world of people who have no idea anybody would ever run 100 miles. Like they've never even heard of that. So it's just interesting to me. I actually listened to a lot of their shows and have heard things mentioned that I think need to bring back to disc golf, and probably vice versa. Like I should talk to Sean and be like, go check out what they're doing here because they're dealing with the exact same types of things. And so to that point, like nailing something like Powerball, I'm telling you, all of these sports who are like, they're real sports, but they're trying to kind of make this big splash. I think it's a big deal to land Powerball. Like a lot of places aren't getting those types of deals.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
I think
It's a duality of man.
pieces came together, and you can't. Connections are incredible. It's largely how, I don't want to say anybody's successful, but most of the successful people do allude to this like right time, right place mentality with effort.
Yeah.
But like
that's what sales is, right?
You always need a little bit of that, like, I don't want to say luck, but magic, right? Like it's like I'm doing this and then it just came together. And this guy found, the Oklahoma lottery guy found disc golf during the pandemic. And then the agency that the Disc Golf Pro Tour is working with is like at some, I'm making this up, maybe it's a social gathering, but says like, hey, what do you like to do for sports? And he goes, I play disc golf. And she goes, light bulb moment, like this is incredible. So I mean, cool, awesome. So we appreciate everybody.
We'll see what
joining the
happens.
show.
I'm sure we can still debate and we'll watch everything. I asked them what it'll look like to be successful. I think that'll be a big deal because if they walk away in 2 years, that's interesting.
But their success, it sounds like, and
But
they
it's
said
already
it
success.
sounds like there's not much concern about.
Oh, no,
they're like,
no,
we've
no,
got
no,
money
I know.
here.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just
no,
a
I
brand.
agree.
We just want our brand over everything.
Talk about an easy deal where they've got cash in the coffers and they're like, yeah, we just need to put our name somewhere. This looks like a good one. I'm exaggerating. It wasn't that simple.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Awesome.
It's cool.
I love when Doc asked that. Who let Matt be on Stagger Stance? Ben, shame on you. Yeah, Ben. We all know you started the show 6 years ago.
No, he's talking about you. You're the username in the chat today because someone thought it was me.
I'm like, what? I'm like,
Doc,
that's
Doc
funny.
wasn't saying who let you on.
That's all
the
right.
show.
That's fair. That's my whole life on this show is the first episode. who let this guy on a podcast? I'm like, I started the podcast. Okay.
The internet let you on.
Yeah, anybody can do
way,
it. Anybody can do
this
it.
is
Not
the-
everybody should. Maybe I'm one of those, but here we are.
This is the 88th Staggered Stance episode.
88th? Oh, Staggered
88th.
Stance.
Staggered
in its own
Stance.
current version. Got it.
Yep. It's
There
the
will be a
83rd
booth.
show I've been on.
There will be a booth for Staggered Stance at the expo. It may or may not be fully manned all the time, but we'll be there. Come and find us. That's in 2 weeks, Ben, correct?
It is
Something
like
half
that.
almost.
January 24th and 25th. So
A lot of
It's in-
special things there.
less than 2 weeks.
Too many
Next-
special things to
next
talk
Saturday.
about.
Yes.
Very cool.
Buy your tickets now. DiscEast.com. It's going to be big. And don't forget about DiscSouth.com. Or don't forget about Disc South. Fueled by Taka. Presented by Marshall Street, sorry, because we're coming to Dallas as well, March 7th and 8th, and that's gonna be really big too. We're gonna finally get some pros.
Whoa.
Shout out to Pro Tour. Shout out to Pro Tour.
Is that the
It is
Doug?
like,
The Doug Bjerkes in the chat?
the
I
Doug
think
is
so.
coming. Yo, I just want to give a shout out to Doug. PDGA wasn't at the first few expos. Doug shows up to one of the expos, and PDGA is there the next at Disc South and Disc East. So shout out Doug for making that happen.
Oh,
I really
boy.
appreciate it. It's been awesome. Doug, he's been killing it.
You've created a FOMO moment for anybody in disc golf, Ben, or at least two FOMO moments, South and East, and like I'm convinced that people are like, well, dang it, like I have to go because like everybody's going to be there. So pretty cool, everybody. You can still get tickets for that. We'll see you there, and we probably won't do an episode before then. It's fun to check in every now and then with you guys. We appreciate it. If we're being honest, if we're being really honest right now, we don't know where Nick was. So we thought he was going to be on. He wasn't. Hopefully he's okay. Has he been chatting with us? No. Okay.
No, but hopefully.
But the
okay,
last
Nick.
chat was really positive. So we'll check in with everybody later. Until next time, we'll catch you out there. This is cool off season for us. We hope you guys have been enjoying it. Didn't miss us too much. Until next time, everyone. Peace out.